now is how do I grow and scale businesses? And I love the world of entrepreneurship. It's so much fun for me. I really enjoy it. And, growing what I'm currently doing, growing, the business I'm working on with, speaking and everything, growing, other businesses as well, when they come up down in the future. But I just really enjoy the world of entrepreneurship. The number one goal for me in everything I do is how can I help and impact other people? That's number one thing. After that, it's, am I happy? Am I fulfilled with what am I doing? Do I enjoy it?
Welcome to the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast, where we bring to you the most successful, happy, fulfilled gentlemen from around the world who have been able to conquer themselves, their life, their marriage, and their businesses. You will be learning from four-dimensional gentlemen who have cracked the code to the science of having it all. The question is, how can married entrepreneurs with kids become gentlemen, achieve true freedom, and build a successful, happy, and fulfilled life, marriage, and business? This show will give you the answer for that. My name is Alex Ramirez, and I'm your host, and you're welcome to the Gentleman Success, Happiness, Fulfillment Talk podcast. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast. As always, I have an incredible guest with us today that I'm very excited to talk to, get to learn from, and connect with. And I want to ask everyone for a favor today. I want to ask you that if you get something out of this interview, I want to ask you to, if you get like some type of value, some insight, a skill, new information, or the inspiration to go out and take action to move forward towards your goals, I want to ask you to please share this episode with 10 people out there. We're sharing on social media, send it to friends, share it with 10 friends, since this is how we grow. This is how we're able to share our message and motivate, inspire, and bless other men out there to change their lives. And today I have Aaron. He became the first legally blind athlete to play football in a Division I game when he was in Tulane University, and he was captain in his senior year and went on to also become an NFL free agent. And Aaron never let his limited vision get in the way of his success. Aaron's great determination and effort enabled him to earn a spot on the Tulane team in the respect of his teammates, coaches, and fans. Aaron began playing football in 7th grade and worked extremely hard to get where he is today. His goal is to show others that it doesn't matter what they're fighting for or what their perceived limitations are. Anything is achievable with hard work and tuning out the judgment of others. So his planning, passion, and perseverance enables him to be successful, and he is now paving the way for others, to get inspired and others with disabilities. And he's trying to show people that the impossible is possible. So, Aaron, thank you very much for being here, man. I really appreciate it, and you are welcome, man.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Looking forward to chatting and adding value here.
Awesome, bro. So the first thing that I do with my guest, Aaron, is I tell them to walk us through their entrepreneurial journey in 75 seconds or less.
Yeah, so, after graduating from school and being an NFL free agent, I went into the world of speaking, realized that I could scale that and build a business because of that. It led me to other ventures and other entrepreneurial things. And it's been a lot of fun to basically build businesses and get paid to share my story and do really cool things.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So, Men's, how old are you right now?
25.
Cool. So you're young. Awesome. I like that.
Yeah, man.
So so when was it, like, how old were you when you went to football and then you realized that you can go out and create businesses?
Yeah, so graduated from school from Tulane in 4 years ago. At this point, I think I was 22. Well, probably about to turn 22 when I graduated, and went into the world of was an NFL free agent for a bit, had other opportunities in corporate America, in entrepreneurship, things like that, and started to pursue things that I thought I wanted at the time, and then kind of pivoted into how do I build my own stuff. And that started off by me speaking and getting paid to speak and share my story, which just led to so many other things. So, it's been a handful of years now, and learned so much along the way and have a lot more to learn and continue to grow.
Nice. And so what are some of the cool, like businesses that you've been involved in?
I mean, I've been involved in a lot more things that have failed than have succeeded. Let's put it that way. But, that's part of life and part of learning and part of entrepreneurship. But, through just speaking, it's led to so many cool things, whether it be, consulting with companies on leadership development and how to overcome obstacles and doing things like that. Whether it's, working with others to help them get booked and paid to speak, and learning lead generation and creating businesses because of that, creating just different offers that scale off of what I've already, built. I think the core area of my business is basically me getting paid to speak. And that's led to so many other things is, other people come to me and say, hey, how do I do this? Okay. We help to maybe set up a lead generation system for them, or teach them how to do it, teach them how to get paid. Maybe it's, companies that I speak to, or someone that I know speaks to wants consulting or workshops or things like that on leadership development, on overcoming obstacles, on growing and scaling. And we do things like that as well. But it's just, how do you take your main core offer, your main thing, and create different areas around it so you can have different revenue sources in different areas to continue to grow.
Okay. And that is what you're like, what your main thing is?
Yes.
Helping people do that. Okay, cool. So yeah, so I think, you're talking like you're big into overcoming obstacles, right? And being able to achieve goals through adversity. So talk to me a little bit about that, man.
Yeah. Everyone has different challenges, different obstacles, different adversities in their life, but it's not, too many people allow them to define who they are instead of taking action, taking control of that in their own lives and what they can do about it. And so it's just making that shift in perspective and mindset to say, okay, just because I have this challenge, whether it be, physical disability, whether it be something in your relationship, maybe you lost your job, maybe you can't pay your rent, whatever it is, I don't know what your challenge is, what your obstacle is, what your adversity is, but taking that and shifting your perspective and understand, why is this happening for me instead of to me? How can I learn from it? How can I grow from it? How can I get 1% better today because of it? And then take that and continue to take action on it and grow.
Okay. Yeah. So it can be like first of all, is the change in perspective, right? From like going from like a victim mentality and thinking that everything happens to you, to thinking, to like realizing that this actually happens for you so that you can grow and learn and expand and get lessons from it. But it can be hard to have that sometimes, like that mentality. So like, what would you say to to people out there who are probably going through some like major issues, major problems, major obstacles, major adversity, and they might be thinking, well, yeah, it's easy for you to say you have everything solved in your life, right? First of all, we don't even know that if that's true. Like, I don't have like a perfect life either, right? But like they're kind of listening to this, like, realize that it's not happening to you but for you, and they're like, yeah, well, it's easy for you to say, right? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I mean, first off, look, like, I don't have everything solved. I don't have everything perfect by any means. I'm learning and adapting and struggling with things every single day. And I think everyone is. And the issue is social media and things like that paint pictures of, people who have lots of followers or do really cool things. And you see that and you think that everything in their life is perfect. And that's just not true. But man, like, I'm so thankful I was born legally blind. That happened for me, not to me, because it's allowed me to do amazing things, meet really cool people, and have it, awesome opportunities. And I think the biggest advice that I'd give someone in that area is like, look, whenever you have a challenge, whenever you have adversity, it can be very hard to see the positive in it. It's probably, you focus on the negative. And if you can just take a step back and think, hey, what is something good because of this? How can I be grateful? What can I learn from this? Figuring that out in that moment will allow you to get better, will allow you to learn, will allow you to eventually make that shift in perspective to realize why these adversities are happening for you, not to you. People can't be grateful and anxious at the same time, can't be grateful and angry at the same time, can't be grateful and annoyed at the same time. And so when you're going through a challenge and you're anxious, you're angry, you're annoyed, or you're one of those other emotions, focus on that gratitude. Focus on, what are you truly grateful for? And it might be something small. It might be something that you have to struggle to find, but I guarantee you can find something that you're grateful for in every single moment. And the more often you do that, the more you'll be able to realize that those challenges are truly happening for you.
So gratitude, using gratitude. And then I like that point that you just mentioned, right? Like, if you're grateful, you cannot be mad. If you're grateful, you cannot be sad. Like,
Yep.
the mind is like a compass needle, right? It can point at one direction at a time, right? That's why, like, multitasking is BS, because you're not like multitasking. You're just like flipping that needle very fast across, different tasks. So like the mind is like a compass needle. It can only point at one thing at a time. So if you're focusing on the negative, well, you'll be negative, and it's as easy as taking your compass needle and pointing it towards positive, right? Which in this case, something really easy that could be positive for you is gratitude. And it's very easy because there's always something that you can be grateful for, right? Like the air you breathe, I don't know, the clothes you're wearing, the
Yeah.
food you have, right? Like there's always something that you can be grateful for. And gratitude is like this, like a shoehorn, like you're going down the path of negativity, and gratitude is like the shoehorn that brings you back up towards positivity, which is really powerful.
Yeah.
So I really like that insight, man. And uh cool. All right, awesome. So let's see. So man, you've spoke, I believe, at TEDx, right? Multiple
I've
times.
done, yeah. I mean, I've done a bunch of different TED Talks. I've spoken at companies, conferences, professional sports teams all over the world. I've done a lot of different speeches. Yeah.
Cool. So what is your favorite thing to talk about?
I think oftentimes it's that, achieving goals through adversity is one of my most popular talks, and talking about, my limitations and, how I was able to overcome that obstacle and create success because of that, and show people, how you can do something, despite the challenges around you, like we've kind of discussed a little bit on. It's, just really powerful, and able to share my insights and my background with people so they can do the same for themselves.
Okay. So you've spoke all over the world. You spoke at TEDx multiple times, and you've been having, what can be seen as a successful career so far. And you're 25. You're very young, so you haven't even started yet, right? Which is really cool. But like you weren't always like this, right? I imagine, or were you always like this, like really driven and stuff like that? So yeah, take me back on your story, man, and tell me
Yeah. I
how
mean,
how have
I've,
you been
I've
able to become who you are?
I've always been a very driven person. Like, look, I started playing football in seventh grade and was not a very good athlete, was not very good at all, barely played. Sophomore year of high school rolled around. I was a third string junior varsity, athlete, and, wasn't touching the field, was annoyed with the situation, and basically said, what can I do to accomplish my goals? What can I do to play? What can I do to play at the highest level possible? And I found the position long snapping, and realized if I got good enough at that unique niche position, there might be an opportunity for me to achieve my goals and to play in college. And from then on out, it was okay, let's wake up at 5 a.m. every day. Let's go practice long snapping. Let's go to school. Let's go practice with the team. Let's go lift weights after practice every single night, and do whatever I could to get better each and every day. Because I understood that because of my limitations, because of my adversity, I had to work 10 times harder than everyone else just to be as good as them. And, once I realized that.
Sorry for the interruption. If you're an aspiring, established coach, course creator, author, and speaker, I want to extend an invitation to check out my free training on the podcast Cloak Track Framework by clicking on the link in the description of this podcast. On this training, you're going to learn how combining podcasting with a rare concept that very few people know about called the Cloak Track can help you build a multi-million-dollar network of successful people who can become your clients, put you in front of hundreds of your ideal clients with your message, coaching, courses, and books, help you become a best-selling author, get you booked to speak on stages, or even making an extra $237,600 in the next 6 months. Click on the link of the description of this podcast to learn about the 4 simple steps to make this work. Step number 1 is alignment. Aligning who you're trying to be, what you're trying to do, your goals and purpose with building your podcast so that podcasting is a vehicle that helps you achieve your goals. Step number 2 is leveraging the Cloak Track to find an unlimited supply of your ideal podcast guest. Step number 3 is leveraging the Cloak Track to close an interview with anyone, no matter how rich, famous, or out of your league they may seem. And step number 4 is the content machine, which is the key to tapping into other people's audiences. These are the 4 steps to making the podcast Cloak Track Framework work, and I'm not going to hold anything back on this training. So click on the link in the description of this podcast, go and check it out. And once you've done that, if you feel like this would help, we also have a complimentary, free, absolutely free alignment call to get you started and show you exactly how to implement everything. Get access to the training right now, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode. Bye-bye.
I put in the work, I put in the time, I put in the effort that needed, and eventually got that opportunity to play in college, eventually got that chance that I was looking for. And that just led to, eventually being an NFL free agent, which led to, speaking, which led to entrepreneurship. But, I've always been a very driven person, and it's going to continue to drive me going forward, but I'm a long way from where my goals are. I have a lot of goals, in business and relationships and, so many different areas in my life. And it's always about striving to get better and not being satisfied with where you're at.
Hmm. So tell me about this, like you becoming the first legally blind athlete to play football in a Division I game.
Yeah. So, like I said, I went to Tulane, and in my sophomore year, I played for the first time against University of Central Florida, becoming the first legally blind Division athletes playing the game. And it was just a culmination of hard work, culmination of dedication that had, come together. And so thankful and grateful that Tulane gave me that opportunity to play and to be a part of the team and to make that impact on others because of it. And it was a tough process, don't get me wrong, but it was so much fun, and I enjoyed every single second of the football, of the practices, of the workouts, of everything that I had to go through to get to where I was. And it was 100% worth everything that I did, and because of that.
Cool. Yeah. So hard work, right? So you saw what, for others would have been like a disadvantage as your like major blessing, and what's driving you to do all of these great things that you've been able to do. And then now moving forward, becoming better and better. So what is it that what does the future hold for you, bro?
Yeah, man. There's a lot of different areas. It's my biggest thing right now is how do I grow and scale businesses? And I love the world of entrepreneurship. It's so much fun for me. I really enjoy it. And, growing what I'm currently doing, growing, the business I'm working on with, speaking and everything, growing, other businesses as well, when they come up down in the future. But I just really enjoy the world of entrepreneurship. The number one goal for me in everything I do is how can I help and impact other people? That's number one thing. After that, it's, am I happy? Am I fulfilled with what am I doing? Do I enjoy it? And, number three is always, can I make revenue out of it? Can I make money out of it? And if it doesn't hit all three of those areas, then there's not really a point in doing something. I think that, when it comes to what I'm pursuing in life, like I had mentioned, the number one thing is how can I impact other people? And that's the reason behind everything that I do. And that's what drives me forward, to create that impact, to create that change, to connect with new people, to, make something that's leaves a legacy for myself and for others. And that's what I've been able to do so far. And, I have a long way to go to cement that, but I enjoy learning along the way every day, and doing what I can do to get better myself, and in turn be able to help others get better and to create cool things.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, man. So man, I have 5 questions for you.
Yeah.
And the first one, well, you're still very young, right? So this is gonna be a little bit well, no, it's gonna be cool. So if you could give your 20-year-old self some advice, what would that be?
Yeah. I think the biggest piece of advice would be start now, figure things out, because, look, at the end of the day, you're young. You don't need to have everything figured out. But I wish I had gone to the world of entrepreneurship when I was 20 years old or 19 years old or 21 or whatever. And
Younger, sooner,
yeah,
right?
and
Faster.
yeah, exactly. And it doesn't need to be exactly what I'm doing now, but just exploring stuff like, maybe I would have started a, Facebook ads agency, or started doing sales or something, just whatever, just something to learn a few years earlier. And I think that's so crucial. I think so many people who are, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, whatever, you're young, you think that because this is what we were taught in school, like the way to get better and get ahead in the world is go to school and then, read all these books or take all these courses or whatever. And like the way that you get better at things are by trying things and failing and figuring out. Like
Yeah,
I,
exactly.
I cannot stand when someone's like, yeah, I know everything about sales because I read 15 books on sales. I'm like, you don't know anything. You've read a book, you haven't taken a sales call. Like, go take 500 sales calls and you'll learn more than reading 500 books. Like that's the truth of it. And I think that so many people at that age, and it's not their fault, it's because what we were brought up to believe is like, they think that knowledge is power. And that's the biggest lie that we were ever taught in our lives. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge can lead to power, but only through action. because the people who take action are the ones who win. The people who sit back and read books after books after books and never take action don't end up seeing any results.
Awesome. I like that. I love that. So start now, right? Because you'll think to yourself later if you start now, whatever it is, right? So cool.
Yeah.
Mindset. So what is one mindset shift, Aaron, that you have had that you think has contributed to your success?
I think it's what we were talking about before, honestly, gratitude. Because I think when I was younger, I wasn't mature enough to understand how thankful I am for being legally blind. And once I was able to understand that, once I was able to realize the opportunity that it brings, understand why I'm so thankful for it, understand, the good it's done for me and the good it's done for other people, I think that shifted my mindset and perspective in so many ways. But realizing that younger obviously would have been amazing. But I think that's important, is taking a look at your life, taking a look at your challenges, your adversities, and really taking a step back and saying, what are my adversities? I know that I might not enjoy them. I know that they might make hard times for me, but what gratitude, what can I, pull out of that to be grateful for?
Okay. Yeah. Gratitude has been a game changer in my life as well, man. And for anyone, any other young person out there or anyone, right? Like actually gratitude is like a muscle. The more you use it, the more grateful you're able to be,
Yep.
moving forward.
100%.
So mindset map, do you have a piece of advice, tactic, strategy, tool for people who may lack or need clarity in their life?
Yeah. I think just to understand that you don't need to have clarity on everything that you want to do as soon as you need to. Like, we all want it. Trust me, we all like certainty and hate uncertainty. But at the end of the day, you don't need to know 100% what you want. You don't need to be 100% clear. You can continue to try things, fail at them, and figure out what's the right fit for you. And I know it might take time, but you'll eventually get there. I think if there's a specific task of something within your relationship, within your business, within your fitness, within whatever area that you want to get clarity on and you need to get clarity on now, then that just involves, different things, whether it be meditation, whether it be going for, a walk through nature, whether it be going to the gym and working out, whatever is the right fit for you. Those are just a few of things that I like to do, but it's what's a good fit for you in order for you to get clarity. But it's really being focused and honed in on yourself and your inner thoughts and feelings to know what you need and what you want.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I think this is going to be very helpful. So mindset map motion. So what is one habit that you have right now, Aaron, that you think is contributing to your success?
I love working out. That's always been a big thing for me. Going to the gym, lifting weights, it allows me to, be happier, get out stress. It allows me to, obviously, exercise and have more energy throughout the day. But I think that's something big for me. It's something I really enjoy doing. You don't need to go out and lift weights every single day, but some form of exercise is really important, whether it be running, whether it be yoga, whether it be, some sort of class. Yeah. Anything. It doesn't matter what it is, but exercise.
Awesome. And the last one, man, is what do you think about measuring and tracking?
I think it's incredibly important. I think the reason most people fail, the reason most businesses fail, is because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know how you're spending your time, where you're spending it. You don't know how you're spending your money or where you're spending it. You don't know what tasks are getting done, what tasks aren't getting done. You don't know what's going on in your business, in your life. And when you're able to track, okay, this is what we did today. This is how the calls went. This is how, the ads went. This is how the business is going. And then on another side, on the personal side, okay, this week I went to the gym X number of days. This week I meditated X number of days. This week I, whatever, gratitude journaled X number of days. You get an understanding of where you're doing well and where you're lacking. And you can take a look at that at the end of every day, week, month, year, and say, okay, I did really well here. I didn't do really well here. The numbers are evident because I did this a lot and I didn't do this that much.
Yeah. Well, awesome, man. So man, you've dropped some great knowledge and great wisdom. And so if if people want to know more about you and people want to know more about like what is it that you speak about, and you also have a podcast and the content that you put out and everything, where should they go?
Yeah, aarongolub.com is my website. Feel free to go there. Email me at aaron@aarongolub.com. And then, my Instagram and Twitter are kind of my biggest platforms that I use the most, at Aaron J. Golub. You can find me YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever, but, feel free to send me a message. I'll, get back to you, and I love helping out however I can.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks. I've enjoyed this, and I'll see you later, man.
Likewise. Appreciate it.
Bye. Thank you for watching the Gentleman's Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with one friend, leave us a comment, and let us know. 99% of people never leave a review or comment, but we love and are very thankful with the 1% of you who do. If there's something or someone you want to see on this podcast, send me a message on Instagram at Alex_Ramirez1020 and let me know. As a thank you for that, I have an amazing surprise for each and every one of you who does take the time to leave us a comment or review on YouTube or one of the major podcasting platforms